I'm Angela Cheryl June. I'm a born-again believer. I'm a single mom of 3 girls. And my mom was a single mom, and we were three of us. I'm the second born. Growing up was a bit of a challenge, but it was okay because my mom was doing her best to bring us up. And so when I was in class 6, she passed on. We were taken to our grandma's place. My grandma took care of me. Then after class 8, I came back to my uncle's place. He took me through secondary school. After Form 4, I got a job, and I could not go to the college due to school fees. So I got married after 2 years after Form 4. That is when my life began. I got my firstborn. She's called Melissa. After I got her, 3 months down the line, we separated with my husband due to immorality cases. Life was difficult. It was not good. It was painful. I knew what it means to have a physically violent man. I knew what it meant to have a drunkard, and things were not easy. I had to leave the marriage. We stayed in marriage for 2 years without a baby. Then we went to hospital to check. Then we found we were okay. So when I was pregnant, this behavior started. I never saw the red flags, but when I was pregnant, that is when the behavior started. I persevered until I got the baby. After I got the baby, 3 months down the line, it got worse. So I had to call it quits because I had persevered for long. So I went to my auntie's place. I stayed at my auntie's place for 6 months. Then I decided I wanted to be independent. So I went back to Ngong to live with my daughter. After that, life was not easy. It was so difficult. Having no job, being a single mom, it was not easy. So finally I got a job. I met another man. I met another man. I entered into a relationship before I got healed. The relationship was it had ups and downs, but in this relationship we stayed for 4 years. Then for 6 years. Then I got a child, my second born now. After that, things became rough. We were just my husband used to come and go. I've been married to my second husband for 13 good years, for 14 years, not 13. So he used to come and go. He was physically violent. He started lying to me that his brother was caught. Then he started sleeping outside. This made my 2 daughters traumatized to a point where my firstborn, she had ulcers, and it was so bad. We slept out. I went to seek for help from the police, but they kept telling me it is a family matter. I should go back home and just talk to my husband. Things were so difficult, having no parents. The only thing that I got hold on to I held on to was God, because I'm born again, and the Lord is the one who held me in that time. So after the 6 years, after I got my baby, I stayed for another 6 years. I started getting sick. So because of the infections were so rampant. So I got sick. I went to the hospital. The doctor wanted to see both of us, but my husband could not avail himself for checkup. He used to be violent whenever I raised the issue. And this became so rampant that the doctor called me and started talking to me, and told me I'm young and I should think about staying alone and forget about this guy for now, because it was too painful. So after that, the problem became worse until I got ovarian cyst. I desired another baby. So I prayed to God. I went to hospital. The doctor said that I could not get another baby. I kept praying for my womb. I kept holding my stomach and telling God that you can give me another baby. I have been faithful all these years. I don't know any other man. So I don't know why this issue is coming up. Kumbe on this other side, my husband is having another woman, and the woman is pregnant for him, and I'm not even aware. And he used to come home. Sometimes he doesn't come home. And whenever one time I saw him, and I suspected there is some issue, though he used to come home and speak to that woman when I'm around. Just when I'm on my bed, he used to speak to that lady. So I kept trusting the Lord. I kept holding my womb and telling God that one day you'll give me a baby, and I'm trusting you that you'll give me a baby. And God is very faithful. I started feeling sick again. I started feeling nausea, those signs for pregnancy. I went to hospital and tested, and the Lord had given me a baby. So I was grateful. I gave my husband the news. I thought he would be happy, but he did not. He pretended to be happy, yet he was not happy. Kumbe that lady was pregnant. We have a duration of 1 month. The lady was we have a gap for 1 month. She's pregnant. Wameshindana mtu in 1 month. So I carried the pregnancy. When I was 3 months pregnant, my husband left. He just came from job, and I had washed his clothes, and that time we were not talking. So he came and packed and left. And what hurt me the most is that he packed the very cold clothes and left with them. And all this while, the mother was supporting him. His mother was supporting him. He was behind him. And whenever I used to take my issues to her, she pretended to be supporting me, yet he was supporting the son. So when he left, that is when I decided to move on with my life. Yet it was not easy. It was difficult, and at some point I wanted to abort this baby. And my firstborn told me, "Mom, if you abort, remember we need you. If you abort and in the process you die, what will happen?" It was so difficult. Life so difficult. My pregnancy journey was so difficult. But God never left us. God was with us. In that whole period, I never got pressure. I never got sick. My weight never went down. Every time I went to the clinic, the doctor was surprised. She was saying I'm the only patient who was, the graph was progressing so well. So I told the Lord, "Lord, I thank you for this baby." And on my mind, I wanted a boy. I was praying with the name of a boy, because I wanted a boy called Joshua. because Joshua, in the word of God, Joshua had a different spirit. So when we went for checkup, we went for scan, it was a girl. It broke my heart. It broke my daughter's heart. My firstborn daughter, she broke up. So it reached a point that I denied this baby. I was so stressed. I did not even want to eat because I did not want to have her. It took a friend of mine who talked to me and told me to just accept. God has a reason why He gave me a girl. My second born told me, Mom, maybe you'd be given a boy and the boy would behave like Dad. It hit me and I felt bad. I said, oh, I do not want to have a boy who behaves like their dad. So I kept on. God strengthened me. I had no money. Yes, I used to go to work. I had my own business, but it was collapsing because I was everything. I buy food, I buy everything for my children. I pay school fees, and they were in private school. So life got difficult. The business went down. So when it came to some point when I was about to give birth, just God worked in His mysterious ways. And some ladies from our church, I fellowship at Sitamgong, some ladies from our church came and visited me. They donated things to me, and I was serving in the women ministry. So two of the women got touched when they came and saw my situation, and they walked with me. They called me and they said, we want to walk with you. They catered for the bill for this baby. I had never stepped in an expensive hospital. All I had when I stopped working, I only had 400, and that is the money I was planning for my delivery, for food, for rent. So those two ladies came. They were so busy helping me. I used cabs for the first time. I never got into a cab. I used a cab. I delivered at I went to Kenyatta, but it was so packed because it was the time for COVID. And they told me, no, we want you to go to Kijabe. Hey, Kijabe was so expensive. I was just seeing Kijabe on TV, but I never interacted with Kijabe. So I went to Kijabe, and for the first time, it was so good. These ladies paid my bill. They used to send me money, and I was asking myself, is this money mine? Because kuna pesa sijawahi shika in my life. So they catered for everything. They took me to Kijabe. I gave birth normally, and I came back. But when they took me to Kijabe it was on 14th, and I gave birth on 15th midnight. So that time it was so bad. This baby, the enemy has been fighting this baby, the birth of this baby, so much. During that time when I was in the labor room, I started bleeding from nowhere. So I was keeping quiet. I thought it was the water broke. So the doctors came. The doctors were asking, why are you bleeding fresh blood? It was so fresh. The blood was so fresh. The doctors got scared. They called 4 other doctors, big doctors. So they called them. They called another European doctor. They said, if she continues bleeding like this for 30 minutes, we'll have to take her for emergency CS. So they told me to call the ladies who are supporting me so that they can consent. I prayed to God. I told the Lord, my husband's girlfriend has given birth normally. Why is it that I have been faithful to you and you want me to go through this? Oh God, just remember my children. It reached to a point when I gave up. I was ready to die. I was ready for anything. So the doctor told me, Ebru, get to the bed. And the doctor said, wow, this is the head of the baby. So the baby came. But still there was battle. The baby did not come so easily. I was being told to push. I was pushing, but I told the doctor my strength is over. I cannot push anymore. The doctor told me, you can make it, Angela. Just give it a last push and all will be well. I told God, I have done my best. Just take care of Melissa and Joy for me. Whatever happens, I'm ready to go home. The doctors encouraged me and they told me to give one last push. I gave one last push and my baby came. But my baby did not. She cried a little because she was so tired. But I thank God. I thank God because I gave birth to her at 4 kg, despite of what I was going through. And I thank God for that period. It was so nice. After I gave birth, I was so happy. I felt every weight has left me. I felt nice. The ladies came back and took me home. They prayed over the baby first. They were the first people to dedicate the baby to the Lord. So after I just gave birth, one of the ladies said that I think you should call her Comfort. And a lady, a friend of mine, I used to work for her. She's a Liberian. She told me, call her Comfort. And another lady from church told me, call her Pendo. So I call her Comfort Pendo because she brings joy to me. She brought joy to me. She brought comfort to me. Just immediately after I gave birth to her, I just felt every weight has left me. And that is when I started experiencing God on another level. And after leaving hospital, the ladies came. We left hospital. They still worked with me. They paid my rent for 6 months. They were giving us food. They were catering for everything in my family. And after that time, my husband reappeared. He said that in the first place, he said that this child was not his. He denied the child. So as a believer, I did not deny him access to see the child. I allowed him to see the child, but I just said it's okay. You can go back to where you are, to your wife, and confirmed, said that the baby is his, and he left. The worst thing that he did to me was there's a time he really beat me up, and he wanted to beat me with the TV, to throw the TV at me. So the mother told him not to do it. But the worst time he beat me up is when he threw a hot jiko. It had fire. He threw at me when I was pregnant. That was the worst. And he even poured hot water on my daughter, my firstborn daughter, when my daughter was coming to my rescue. Yes. He's around, we see each other. When I pass on the road, he has continued with his life. There's a time he called us when my children closed school. He called us and he said he wanted to tell us something. I asked him, was the stress that you put us through not enough? Excuse me, not enough that you want to still involve my children? And he said, no, just come with the children. I want to tell you something. So when we met in Karen, he told us that since he left us, he has never had peace. And we told him there's no peace for the wicked. And he told us that he's sorry. And then we accepted. Yeah, we told him we forgave you long time ago. But before I finished talking, my firstborn daughter said, Dad, we forgave you, but we cannot allow you to come back to our family. And the dad broke, but it was the reality, because I cannot go back to the life I used to live. Speaking the truth, I have tried as a wife, I have really tried. So the dad told the daughter that She cannot understand what happened between me and him. But the daughter said we saw. The daughter asked him. He said yes, you had problems, but was going to other women the solution. That statement coming from my daughter was so heavy on me that even if I was to forgive him and bring him back, it would happen again. So I decided to forgive him and let go. I forgave him, but I would not wish to live that kind of life again. For now, I'm focusing on raising my children and serving God. My life right now, I'm peaceful. I thank God for the peace of God. I thank God for the joy. Compared to that time, this life is better. Yes. A word of encouragement to my fellow women. Things happen in marriage. I know marriage is an institution initiated by God. Marriage works, and I cannot tell anybody to get out of marriage. A woman cannot wake up today and just say she's leaving her home. To the women, I would say pray, persevere, but when things are tough, like physically violent, things that will bring trauma to your children, you can separate for some time. To the young ladies, don't ignore the red flags. I ignored many red flags. When God says do not be unequally yoked to non-believers, He means His word, because He knows that is a door that the enemy will use to attack you as a believer. Yes. And to the men, immorality is not the solution. One man, one wife, as God initiated it to be. The things of this world come and go. But being a man, being the priest of the home, serving the purpose that God gave you as a man matters a lot. And being there for the children. Because I did not go to college, I'm ready to do any job that glorifies God. I cannot work in a bar. Much as I don't have a job, I cannot work in a bar. I cannot work in a club. I would desire if anyone would give me a job that glorifies the Lord. My number is, they can reach me through my number, 0729 716 609.